What is the primary thing that poets do? They help us to see.
Yes, exactly.
They help us to see what's really there.
Yes.
And so, of course, Virgil is his guide.
Of
like,
course,
who else would his guide possibly be but the poet that has inspired the poet?
Yes.
Like, the poet that had helped the poet see. Like, you helped me to see, and now I found myself in this place where I'm lost and confused.
Yeah.
And so, who else am I going to follow but the poet who helped me to see in the first place?
What does he call him? He says, "My master and my author." Is that the two ways that he refers to him in this canto?
And so, to have someone like the poet who sees, right? He's going to act as the guide because he can see in the dark, literally, right? And Dante can't because he's in the dark, and he's in the dark because he lost his way off the path, right?
So there's this notion of poetry as this thing that's, let's say, becomes the mediation of grace in Dante's life. I wonder how much that's simply because Dante is a poet. You know, like, is it that poetry is the thing that saves people, or is it that the place in which Dante has, let's say, not given up on reality? It's the thing that he holds on to.
The fact that Virgil is the one who appears as his guide is related to his own personal story as well as a poet.
Dante starts his journey with a false start. He's starting to go up that hill. He knows where he's supposed to go, but then you have the three beasts blocking him. There's a false start there, you know. He knows he's trying to take a shortcut to some place for which there are no shortcuts. And it's as if Dante, you really want to learn and grow, you have to go another way. You have to go and come in contact with Lucifer himself if the change is going to be real and long-lasting and authentic. So there are no shortcuts, it means, I think, you know, and Dante seems to want to underline this. Even in the second canto of the Inferno, there is that kind of false humility also, where I'm not Aeneas, I'm not St. Paul, who am I? You know, he's being a coward. That's the false humility, you know, and he seems to make that because then the humility at the beginning of Purgatorio is the right kind of humility, which doesn't mean that you shrink yourself towards life. You take on the mission, you go and with affirmative, but you put your ego in check, you know, you become creative and affirmative.